Episode 2, RHAENYRA the Cruel, has aired. House of the Dragon, Season 2. Get your comments in, and if you're not watching live, leave comments, because you know what we do. We comment all the time back to you. We want to know your thoughts on this episode, more build-up. And we got a little gift for you. Noc, you want you hit it.
Yeah. So if you guys been watching, man, this one's for you guys.
Overrated. Pretty boy. A bitch.
That is our sum up for Christian Cole. Fuck this guy. Zach, let's start the freaking show, man. Oh man, Zach, what's going on, man? Episode 2, how you doing?
All right, man. This was a good episode. I liked it. How about you, man? How you doing?
I enjoyed it, man. I'm doing good this week. We're back again. Westeros Popcast.
There we
Season
go.
2, Episode 2, House of the Dragon. Christian Cole is quickly becoming my most hated character in all of Game of Thrones history. He's in the top 5 for sure.
Oh man, he's nearing Joffrey levels for me.
Yeah.
I can't stand this dude.
Yeah. A lot to unpack here. A little bit more of a setup episode again for episode 2, but we're getting very close to that powder keg exploding.
Yes. Ah, man. Noc, I just asked you, or I just told you that I felt last week when you said it should be a 2-episode premiere. After this week's episode, I disagreed with you, but you said it should have been now because you like this more setup episode.
Yeah. So yeah, last week I thought let's get a 2-part, season premiere. I was all for it. Now I'm a bit on the fence here because again, we got more setup. There was a bit of action. We'll get to that towards the end here.
Yeah.
But it was just a lot more talking here. We've barely seen Daemon. He's kind of just been, sitting around plotting and storming off, getting a little pissed off. So we're seeing a little bit of, stuff from these characters. Not a lot of likable traits from a lot of these characters.
Not really at all. No matter who you're rooting for, you're kind of rooting for a bad guy. Speaking of bad guys, it's kind of a lot of his show, Prince Aegon the Second, or excuse me, King Aegon. What a good performance from My Chemical Romance this week.
I got to give it to him. For a character I felt like I was supposed to hate, who I thought was going to be more like a Joffrey, who just handed a crown, don't really care about people. His acting's on point. He's killing it. He's actually really good right now.
Yeah. He's doing such a good job that I now want him to be someone who sticks around for the long run, as opposed to him being almost killed off this season after the first episode. So I really got to hand it to him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a horrible king. He's still not the best of people, not a good decision maker, but the acting has been so good. And we're seeing layers. We talked about this last week. We're seeing layers. He was very, very sad and down about his son, obviously, which I don't think we would have got from a Joffrey, who I expected him to be like.
Right. Him knowing about basically the history of being a king and everything like that around him, stating that his legacy has now been murdered, his son. Yeah, you get more of the fact that he understands what the crown is about as opposed to Joffrey.
Yeah. So, shout out to him, man, doing his thing. And, we'll see at the end there, he destroyed his father's little playset.
I felt so bad for the person that made it. But again, if you watch the after show on HBO thing, the person who made it knew that they were going to destroy it this season. So kudos to them for playing ahead.
Okay.
Yeah. But it was very cruel, man. The Hand, he said that we need to tout your dead son through the streets. He had a game plan for it. It was cold-blooded, but it made sense.
It made sense, but it was still hard to see. Like nobody wanted to participate in this.
No,
not the mother, not Alicent. That was a bit of a tough watch. They did actually show the kid too. That was a little tough.
I know, and we're going to show the kid on here too, just so you know, because I want to talk about something on there. If you don't want to look at it, I'll give a spoiler warning before we hit that slide.
Okay.
But Helena, right here too. Like, I was paying attention after last week when you said she's a seer. I was paying attention to her words. They're very, very small amounts of dialogue for Helena this week, but man, did they speak volumes.
Yeah. Yeah. By next week, unless anyone has any comments, I'll try to remember what she said in the first season that came to pass. But she has a very good, like, little hints in her dialogue. Alicent, on the other hand, she's becoming harder and harder to root for. We'll get to it in a second here, but look, let's parallel her with her best friend or former best friend, Rhaenyra. When her son lost his brother, she's seen him, confronted him, like comforted him, if you will. They cried together. Alicent sees her son cry, and she just walks away. She doesn't want no parts of it.
They are punking her out this season. We talked about last week. We're talking about this week, and I have a feeling we're going to talk about every week this season. They're really punking her out.
Yeah, so it's tough to root for her. But there are some people on the greens that I'm actually kind of liking. I ain't going to lie.
Who is it?
Honestly, Otto is not that bad of a guy. He's a schemer. He has a lot of plans, but like he's still all about the realm.
Yeah.
He's not that bad.
That's true. Your thoughts here? I don't know where it takes place in the show, in the episode, but when Helena was going up the staircase and King Aegon was coming down, they shared a quick glance. In the after show, one of the writers or producers said that it showed solidarity between the two. But I personally, from that, I got the fact that he didn't want to look at her, not because he despised her for what he did or possibly that, but just because it was just I don't know. He didn't want to talk. I didn't feel the solidarity that the producer.
Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that because that's interesting that the guy said it was solidarity, because when I saw it, I thought it was like he was done with her. I thought he wanted no parts. I thought it was just kind of like,
right.
That's kind of what I got. I mean, he should already want no parts. That's his sister, but that's another story.
Very true, but also like I when you're talking about Aegon's acting in here and everything was on point, I felt that was on point for his character. But then when the producer said that, I was like, man, that's not what I got one bit from it. But that's what she said. So let us know in the comments what you thought of that scene, because I thought it was one thing and apparently it was another.
Yeah. Really well done. And since they're both on the screen here, I don't know how Alicent can recover her her relationship with her daughter. There's really no way here, I don't think.
It almost has to be the thing that bites her in the ass in the end. Like this has to come back like episodes down the line.
Yeah,
she's not just going to not talk about this.
True.
All right, we're going to get to the slide next after this with the sun on there. It is clear Hollywood magic. Makeup and everything is very well done. That's just why I want to talk about it. But just a warning, if anyone's going to not want to look at that, that is coming up next. But this scene right here, I thought this was very well done. I liked it, but I thought we'd get more extensive and extravagant gowns from the two after the big loss. If we would have gone back to the first season of the series Game of Thrones, I thought we would have gotten better costume. They just had like little headdresses on their normal gowns. This is like in Saw when they de-aged Jigsaw by putting a backwards baseball cap on him. To me, like this wasn't the full like extent of the budget of House of the Dragon, but maybe there's something else I'm missing or some kind of tradition.
Yeah, I don't know about any traditions or anything, but I didn't really catch any of that because I was looking at it more like what Otto said. He wants them to be looked like, you send out your softest people out there. He wants the commoners, the town folk, to feel pity, to really feel their sadness, and really he's really trying to bury Rhaenyra's reputation right here. There's no proof it was her, but fuck it, give her the rap. Rhaenyra the Cruel, who actually might be the nicest person in this entire show right now, but she's labeled in the realm as the Cruel. And that's going to play a lot, with who aligns with her and stuff. So I wasn't really seeing that too much, like their headdresses and stuff. I thought there was going to be more from the scene, though. I thought we were going to get a little more, especially when like the carriage like got stuck under there in that little rut. I thought we were going to get I thought something was going to happen.
I thought the head was going to pop off. To be honest, I was just waiting for it, and that's what was going to set off Helena. If you do not want that up here now, we can just talk about it anyways.
You got it.
Are you sure? You cool with that?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll bring it up just because this is Very well done from the makeup department. How they did it was very Frankensteinish, putting the head back on, visible, so that people could see what Rhaenyra the Cruel has done to a child,
Yep.
and just spot on again. Great acting by the woman playing Helena. It added layers to what from last week we saw a very simpleton kind of character. So I really like that they focused in on her and what the child meant to her.
Wow. Yeah. That's a good touch there. Good point you brought up there.
Oh man. Again though, great makeup, great job by the child actor. I don't know how many takes they did with this, but you're riding around in a bumpy cart, and I'm just glad the head stayed on. I thought that was going to be something that they were going to do and go almost too far. That would have been, I think, what they would have done in the first series, Game of Thrones.
100%.
Yeah. Mr. Alpar, how did you like episode 2? Let us know as we discuss and dissect the whole thing. All right, this was a good conversation.
Yeah, this was actually.
I got. This is a better slide I made for it. The other one.
No, that was perfect. That was perfect.
Okay.
David and his world tour, Damon Timberlake. I loved how she was looking around the table like, yo, this doesn't make sense. Why are they thinking us? She's looking around. She looks around. Then she looks towards, David, who's her love, who's also her uncle. And then you see the realization set in her face. And that was such a perfect scene. And she's like, oh my gosh. And we cut to this scene where they're talking in private. I thought both actors are very strong in this scene. This is a really good scene.
Yes. Yeah, and I'm glad they made Rhaenyra deliver this and also speak up now about how Damon just wanted her spot. And this stuff, I like this stuff gets brought to the table between the two of them early on this season rather than get drug out until the end and the war starts.
Yeah. And it's tough because, I really don't know where they're going with this because Rhaenyra needs all the allies she can get. And if Damon's kind of playing for his own team, when things come down to this dance of dragons, who's going to be gutting for who?
Exactly. And that's another thing, too. It seems like Damon wants her to submit the crown to him. But also, I think the end game, since it is the world of Game of Thrones, he wants her dead. So it's a weird dynamic because it seems like there is the emotion there.
Yeah. And I don't think Damon's ever really loved anybody. I think he came close with that one girl who was the spy kind of that worked in the brothels.
Oh, Mysaria?
Yeah, Mysaria, that's her name. Thanks for that one. I think he came close with that. Maybe he loves Rhaenyra, but it just doesn't really feel like he cares about much. It really doesn't feel that way. Even his own daughter, his daughter walked by and he just looked at her and kept pushing.
That's true. That is very true.
So it's hard to read him. Where was I going with this? But yeah, a really good scene. We're gonna see what's gonna happen in a Dance of the Dragons.
And he left too on his dragon. So
He
where do you
did.
think he's going? What do you think he's doing?
They said he was. Rhaenyra thought hopefully he's going to Harrenhal, which I want to ask anybody in the chat. Harrenhal's another one where I don't know when it happened, but you heard in Game of Thrones and in the books, the king of Harrenhal he didn't want to give up his throne and he got burned inside his castle by a dragon. I don't know if that's David and his dragon and that's coming up, or that's something that happens down the line with some other character. I don't know. Someone let us know in the chats. But the Harrenhal has another deep, dark history.
Okay. Shit. All right. That's something to look forward to and put a pin in. So speaking of Mysaria, she gets found out here by Rhaenyra, and there's a lot of stuff that comes out of her, and she plays a very important part in this. But the one thing I have on the right here is the important part here where she lets Rhaenyra know about what what's her name?
What happened to Strong?
Yeah, and she burned. Wasn't there children in there too?
Yeah. Oh, so she was in there with Rhaenyra's original lover, and I think it was Strong and his dad. He went to go save his dad, and then his brother is the one who orchestrated them all getting burned.
Yes,
that foot guy.
So she let Rhaenyra know that it was. I'm so bad with names on these shows. Alicent, who basically orchestrated it from her eyes. So she's planting more seeds that Alicent isn't as innocent as she might be, even though Damon
blood is on her hands.
Yep. So that was an important thing here. That almost slipped my attention here. She just was kind of talking, to Rhaenyra and trying to survive and not get executed.
That's a good catch.
So
that's a good catch.
Anything else about her? She did have a big role in this show, this episode.
Yeah, very subtle, but as she's about to leave, I think they kind of, I don't know if they foreshadowed it, but like when she was talking to Rhaenyra, she talked about how all the guys in the realm are they're all the same, whether it's Daemon, whether it's Aegon, whoever, Otto Hightower, whoever it is, it's the guys. So she kind of played that up. So later on, when Rhaenyra actually honored what Daemon said, and we're gonna let her go, let her be free, I think she was shocked. I think that earned a certain level of trust that she might not have had with anybody else.
Yeah, she could be kind of this season's the Hound, where she could be seen as kind of a bad person, then come back and kind of help out who you're rooting for later on.
And that's what was implied, as she, in the end, might have contributed to saving Rhaenyra's life in a small way.
Yeah. All right, let us know if there's anything else from Mysteria that you want to touch on in the comments. Next up, the plan. Your guy, Christian Cole.
Let's hit that one more time for you guys real quick.
Pretty boy.
A bitch.
Our guy, Christian Cole. That's his entrance video from now on. Unbelievable, bitch. Zach. Unbelievable. I was furious watching this scene.
What an ass. This guy is every middle management scum you've ever worked for.
Yep. He kisses the right ass.
Milton, I need you to come in on Saturday. Oh my God. What a plan. This plan is very smart. I like the plan. This is very Game of Thrones-ish, and it's I expected this to actually last almost the whole season, so I'm glad they got it out of the way. But what an asshole. What this dude was getting trim, and to make up for getting caught getting trim and someone dying on his watch, he does this. This is so cruel. You go pretend to be your brother.
Yeah.
And go.
He's just full of shit, man. And like he picks a fight with the guy, clearly talking about, why is what is it? His little his little cape to his armor. Why is it dirty? He was like, I was just outside of the mud. He's like, no, that represents your virtue and all your what do you call it? Your trust and all your type of stuff, because it's supposed to be white, supposed to be clean. And he's the one who fucked it up.
Yeah. Christian needs everything white. Cunningham, glad to see you. Hope you liking the show. Are you digging the season? House of the Dragon season 2? This is kind of where the episode picked up right here, because you knew that he didn't want to do it, but Christian Cole, man, you had other soldiers leave the tables because they knew this guy could die if he didn't obey.
Yeah. I don't like this guy, man. And the fact that he got rewarded at the end of the episode is just, it speaks volumes to how fucked up the Greens are with their strategy and Aegon just doing whatever.
Yep. Oh my God. Christian Cole. I didn't mind him as much last week, and I can't stand this dude.
Expose the Greens, people. Expose them. They're all full of it.
All right. Speaking of exposed, the plot is getting exposed right here. Aegon has pieced together from a captured blood, not from LA, but from Blood and Cheese, that there was another person involved in there, and it leads to the hanging of anyone who's involved with rat catching, and for all the public to see. So Aegon says this is so the public can see that I don't F around, and he gets called out on that. But everything is getting exposed little by little here. What's his name with the eye patch with the world's longest body? Aemon. Eat some carbs, my guy. I did not need to see him all curled up Prometheus style inside of his horror's arms.
Not with that hair, not with all that.
We're good. But even he found one of the coins that the rat catchers didn't grab. So he knew something else was afoot there. It's little by little, these plots have undone themselves. And the one nice storyline with the guy who Aegon promised whatever to last episode now got hanged instead.
Yeah. I knew the minute this guy said, oh, the rat catchers, and they didn't specify which one, he was going to take them all out. I know it'd be such a public display. But it's kind of interesting. Now, do you rehire your staff? Do you let the new staff come in saying, "Hey, this is what happened to the old guys. How that's why there's a job opening now."
Right.
They have rats running around the castle if you don't have anybody.
Oh my God, Aegon, you should work for Boeing. Al Cunningham says slightly disappointed, but still hopeful. Same. I think we're just picking up here after 2 episodes in season 3. I think they're going at least till 5, from what I've heard.
Yeah, this is like the cash cow for Warner Bros. Right now. They're gonna milk it as much as they can.
Yeah. All right, but then Hightower, Otto, Mr. Common Sense.
Yep.
It's his time, man. This was the scene. I almost thought Otto was going to get his.
I didn't know if it was gonna go that far, but I could see that. Usually Otto's more reserved. He'll whisper certain things. He'll play the shadows, play the the long game. I was so surprised he erupted like this. This is the first time I think I've seen him do that in such a not really. I mean, it is a public manner. It's out for there's people there, but it's not so public where there's like people around. But he never really erupts like this. So I was very curious about this. And the first time I seen him do it, it cost him his spot as the Hand, and now there's no what to do.
Yeah. If anyone out there has ever spoken to a boss like this, please leave a comment and let us know. I'd love to hear your story. But this is why I thought he wasn't going to be shown the door. He was going to be shown a sword by Christian instead. But he's out. He's free. He's good. But yeah, good for him for speaking up. Like, he did set this up. He did set up the thing that Helena didn't want to do, parade her dead son around, for a purpose and a reason. So, man, this My Chemical Romance just pissed all over Otto's plan.
He really did. He really did. So Otto did all this for no reason. And at this moment, he considered, damn, it should have been Rhaenyra.
Mm-hmm. Unbelievable. Then he has to sit down with his daughter and he explains everything and he needs to leave, he says. So there's a lot going on here with the family. And the Greens are messy right now.
Super messy. And again, when Rhaenyra was having her messy situations, she was a kid, she was a child. Alicent's grown now. A whole lot of different scenarios here. The other thing too is like with Game of Thrones, there's always so many secrets. And it leads to so much conflict. If Alicent would have just came clean, or if he would have said, "Yeah, tell me," so much could have been avoided about certain things. Oh man.
Yeah, smart dad though. You don't want to hear your daughter's sins now.
This is
Keep
true.
Yourself.
This is true. This is true.
No, don't want to hear it. I'm just gonna leave town. How about that? See you at Christmas, maybe.
This is the other part. He said he was going to go back to, I believe, I forget where he said he was going to go back to, and then I think Alicent suggested going back to, what is it, Highgarden, because the Tyrells were kind of like rising up. But she also mentioned she has another son. I didn't know she had another son that got sent away. I guess is now the Lord of whatever spot they're in control of. I didn't know that. So I guess there's another son floating around for Alicent, which, actually,
okay.
I gotta look back on season 1 because there's so many little kids running around. I don't know who's who sometimes.
Hold on. Let me bring this up. Let me see if it's on here.
The family tree. Here we go.
Let me see. I mean, I know this isn't Roman Reigns and the Rock family tree, but I'm just let us know if you can see if there is another son listed on here for Alicent.
Oh, look at that next to Aemon. What's that on the right? Who's that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Let me see if I can just blow it up. Pop. Still can't read it. If anyone else knows the son out there, let us know. But,
okay, so that's the guy I think Otto's going to go see. I wonder if he's going to actually show up or not.
If you want to check this out, this is on HBO.com or whatever. HBO. I think it's still HBO.com. But if you go on there, I think this might be updated, kind of how you're suggesting. His picture will be added once he's on screen.
Yeah.
So these are live. There's a cool thing that you can go on to. There's more of this family tree and stuff you can look around and get familiar with the houses again.
Okay. Yeah, this is pretty cool to see.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on from them. Let's get into, if you want to hit some Luther Vandross, light some candles.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, not yet. I'm sorry.
Oh.
That will happen for them, but hold on.
I think it already has.
This is a nice scene that's just going to be a seed into what's going to happen later on.
Yeah. Again, the daughter that keeps getting neglected by her father doesn't even know if he loves her or not. She thinks she hates him. For anyone watching, try to keep up. Let's break it down here. So, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's like Jacaerys, I think. He's Jacaerys Valerian because his father was Corlys and Rhaenyra's son, so he gets the Valerian name. But that's not his real father, who they acknowledge in the seed is Strong. So he's a strong boy
Yes.
with a Valerian last name, also Targaryen in his blood, who's married to a Targaryen who's kind of a Valerian. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot right now. And she's a Targaryen last name, so he's a Valerian. She's a Targaryen. A lot going on.
Fuck.
Hey, she's the master
All
of a
right.
crossbow, though. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is. I'm excited to see them kind of do stuff later on. He said he misses his brother already, so
Hey.
hey.
I don't know if that kind of show, man.
Yeah. Anyways, this is where you cue the Luther.
Okay, yeah, here we go. Here we go. The grandparents of these people.
Yeah, Corlys.
Rhaenys, I think.
I
The
think
name is.
I think he's getting a little too comfy right now.
He is like he had so much ambition in the first season throughout all those years, trying to, get to the crown, trying to get as much power as he could. This season so far, I don't know if it's because of the near death experience, but he's just chilling. He's just happy where he is. He's
Yeah.
fine. But Rainey
Go
said
ahead.
something very important here regarding Damon and like Rhaenyra's relationship and how he kind of just she said he kind of does care, but he can't get past the fact that he has to be the person underneath her as far as like submit power to her. He can't do that.
Yes.
So she did say that it was kind of important with that relationship, and I think she's spot on because she's another one who she said the crown passed over her, and it was very hard to get over that.
There's another scene, I don't have it in here, where he was last episode with Hull. Him and his brother, I do believe it was, were having a conversation
Alan,
about
I
how
think
it
his
was
name is.
okay. How it was good for him to go to war and show his worth. That's the mindset back then. Like, yeah, go to war. Like Hull is like, I don't want to die. I like war isn't
Yeah.
good. So it's just crazy to think how the mindset is among lower level, like not heads of house.
Yeah, because I mean, you're just gonna live a no little life, not have made too much money, and then that's how you make your name. You can just explode going to war and doing something crazy.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I mean, that's kind of what Christian Cole did when he won, I think, that tournament, or he got noticed. So
Yeah.
Rhaenyra started liking him, got in the King's Guard, whatever. And he kind of instilled that in one of the twins, saying, listen, you can have all the glory and the war. Go take out Rhaenyra. He was trying to sell him on all this type of stuff, which, I mean, he forced his hand, but he also tried to sell him on some glory as well.
Yeah. This is it. It happened this episode. Again, I didn't think this was going to happen until the end of the season because if you watch the original Game of Thrones, stuff like this gets a little bit more drawn out, especially traveling to the land. But it happened. Everything went down this episode. Again, this is where the episode really picks up steam and the action happens.
Yeah, this one was pretty intense because, again, it's two twins fighting. I didn't fully know who was who when they were fighting and who was winning, so that it increased the level of threat for Rhaenyra, especially when he took his brother out and then he walked towards Rhaenyra at the end. I was like, all right, is this the twin that wants to kill her or the twin that's trying to protect her? So that I had that split second moment of thinking like, is she still in trouble? And then he wanted to go out with his twin, and this was actually a really good scene.
So, them being the G.I. Joe Cobra twins and feeling each other aside here, what are your thoughts of him offing himself after killing his brother?
It kind of makes sense. I mean, they kind of hinted at that when they were fighting. He was like, we came into this world together, but you left. I think his brother was saying that. I don't think he wanted to live. I think it was fine being apart, but him not being there at all, that it was just too much for him. I think because I've watched his other show, Shogun, like it's all about the value of being in service to somebody And that's kind of what being a knight is in this show. You've seen it with Brienne of Tarth, who was on multiple occasions willing to give her life away for the person she was in service to. So when he took his brother out, he was no longer able to give his full value to Rhaenyra. So he ended it there. So I think in their eyes, that was an honorable death for them for being a knight.
Okay. Yeah, best part of the episode. I really liked it. Good fight scene. I did not like the fact that he took his own life after, because if you part ways like they did, and if you're fighting on, you're not one brother's not working for Coke and the other one's working for Pepsi. All right, these are people that are going to war. You know, eventually you're probably going to cross paths with your brother in some form of battle, and if that's the case, that's it. Like you're gonna have to kill the other one. So would he have just killed himself on the battlefield? I didn't really. I don't know. I didn't dig it, but I dug everything else around it. So, well,
That's a good point too. And I actually kind of like their characters, and I wanted to see a little more from them. Like I thought we could have got a little more out of it. That's usually not, again in original Game of Thrones, they had to kill off a lot of characters, but you still got like a good amount of story out of a lot of them to like really sink your teeth into. I feel like we barely got on the surface of these two characters.
Yeah. Let us know if they're featured more in the books. Again, I think that it makes room for more people to come in, because we do have people that just had barely any screen time, like Hull and his brother, who I think will get more. But yeah, great stuff. Probably the best part of the episode, other than the acting from Elena and Aegon. So
yeah, yeah, just solid stuff there. And again, this was all Masseria, I think her name you said it was.
yeah, Mysteria caught that. Mysteria. But then we end with Christian Cole still getting his.
Oh my gosh!
I just leave this comment.
This is your new hand of the realm, hand of the king. Wait till frickin' Aegon realizes his hand is handling his mother. So
that was good.
This is what all he does, man. It's ridiculous. It really is.
Get him off the screen. Hey, Mr. All Power and Noc. Alt, if you're still there, and anyone watching. So we did it last week. We'll do it again this week. Let us know who you think the hater of the week is. But let's get the review out for the episode review. That is the end of it. Mr. All Power says 6 out of 10. Noc, your takeaways, and what do you rate this episode?
Takeaways, again, more good setup, great acting, less action. I want to let them pick up. I want to see some Daemon stuff. I want to see what's going on with Aemon, the mama's boy. Clearly has some issues. I want to get some fighting going, man. We have 8 episodes. Now we're gonna get to 3, damn near halfway.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. I think.
7 10, okay.
It still has my attention, but I'm still waiting for some more. I didn't get full off of this last episode.
Okay, I actually had a 7 out of 10 too, because I just felt a lot of this episode, at least the first half almost, was leftovers from the episode before. I love when an episode continues the story like that, but I just felt a lot of this episode was part of the first episode rather than just moving forward. Great ending and some great performances, but yeah, same. So that's 2 7s out of 10s.
Yeah. So yeah, let us know what you guys think as well. I'm sure I'm missing some stuff I wanted to talk about.
Alt's got them all. We got I love it. Padre. Oh God. Padre, motherfucker. All right. Are you ready for the hate?
Go ahead.
5 out of 10. All right. Don't act like the show just yet.
Yeah, it's definitely not on that level of bad. I still enjoyed it. It was a longer episode too.
Yes, and it's beautifully done. So it's another thing too. It brings us in there, and man, the set designs are top notch.
Yeah.
Who do you think is hater of the house this week?
Ooh, that's a good one, man. I'm looking at it. I'm searching. I look at Team Green.
Mm-hmm.
I look at Team Black. If David had more screen time and he didn't just leave, I might say him. But hater of the freaking week has to go to Otto Hightower. This man was just going off on his grandson, on the king. Love to see it, man. I'm giving it Otto Hightower.
Okay. I see honesty and common sense not as hater, but
Okay.
I pity those. I pity those who do not listen to people like Otto.
Good point. Good point. Who you got?
All right, who do I have? You mentioned him. He didn't have much screen time. Dad that left for a pack of smokes didn't get much screen time either, and I don't like him. But it is Damon. Look at the look. Look at the look when it's mentioned about the kid dying. The wrong person died. Look at the look he gives. He doesn't care. Look at that.
Nope.
Hate. Look at that.
And you're right, because secretly he's been hating on RHAENYRA this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a great point. You're right, man. You're right. Otto was telling truth. David was telling a whole lot of other stuff.
Yep. Christian Cole will always be the easy pick. I'm sure he will get it eventually. Honestly, he might just be hater of the season. But this week's goes to Damon. If you got a reason for anyone else, let us know. And of course, every week we got to pick one. So if you got one, hit us up on our socials and let us know who you thought was the most hating person in House of Dragons that week.
Oh, man. Another solid episode. Thank you guys for jumping in the comments. Keep supporting these reviews. We're enjoying them. It looks like Tuesdays are going to be the days. So Tuesdays so far right now is the days for these. So keep an eye out for those if you want to hear from your boys. And I do have a new outlook for Game of Thrones, our Game of Thrones reviews coming. I'm going to definitely set up these things. So keep an eye out for that as well.
Okay. And Mr. Alpower, the twin is not hater of the week. He's bitch of the week for doing what middle management told him to do. I'm not cleaning a bathroom.
Nope. Oh, man. But let us know 2 weeks in, Team Black, Team Green. Who's your hater of the week? Do you agree with Zach? And I think next week we'll see you guys on Tuesday. Episode 3 coming up.
That's it. Getting ready for it. And of course, the episode of the podcast. We're doing it Thursday. So,
good amount to talk about this week. So jump in with your boys.
Yes. All right, that's it for the episode, though. RHAENYRA the Cruel. Again, if you got any comments or anything that sparks your memory, hit us up in the comments. We comment left and right. Even if you do our tier list, we got a comment from one from like 4 years ago.
This is true.
Keep an eye on that is it. That's right. Any last words, Noc, before we head on out?
No, we'll see you next week. From Westerosi Popcast, Hollywood Zach, and Final Boss. I know I'm butchering it, man. I'll get it right, man. I'll get it right one of these days.
Westerosi. That sounds like a summertime drink you make with LaCroix. All right, but that is it from Westeros Coast Podcast.
There we go.
Noc Zax. We'll see you next time.
Peace out, y'all.